Have you ever wondered what if losing just one of these 5 pillars could shake your whole life in old age? As you age and life slows, your foundation starts to change. It's not just about what you've achieved or how many birthdays you've celebrated. It's about what you've managed to hold on to. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 essential pillars that keep your life steady, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling in your later years. These are not luxuries or extras. They are the roots of a strong and peaceful old age. Lose them, and you risk drifting into loneliness, frustration, or regret. But keep them close, and your days will be grounded in comfort, connection, and peace. So if you've ever wondered what truly matters most as you grow older, stay with us, because what we're about to explore may help you see aging not as a decline, but as a time of deeper strength, clarity, and joy. And stick around until the end of this video, because the 5th pillar might just surprise you, and it could make all the difference in how you experience your golden years. Let's begin. Pillar 1. Emotional stability. There's something quietly powerful about a person who stays steady even when life shakes around them. Emotional stability is one of the first pillars that begins to matter more and more as you grow older. It's not just about avoiding arguments or staying calm when things go wrong. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't let little things ruin their day, who knows how to pause before reacting, and who learns how to let go of what they can't control. In old age, this ability isn't just helpful, it's healing. When you've lived through decades of highs and lows, you start to realize that peace of mind is one of life's greatest treasures. Seniors with emotional stability tend to have fewer conflicts with family, fewer regrets about the past, and a much greater ability to enjoy the present. That calm presence is something others gravitate toward, not because you're trying to impress them, but because your steadiness becomes a kind of quiet strength. Take the example of Robert, a 76-year-old widower who recently moved into a senior living community. Instead of being overwhelmed by change, he brought his old jazz records, his morning tea habit, and his sense of humor. While others were adjusting with difficulty, Robert became a magnet for new friendships, not because he tried to be popular, but because his emotional calm gave others a sense of safety. That's what this pillar does. It turns your presence into comfort. At its core, emotional stability helps you step back and see life from a wider lens. You realize that not everything needs a response, not every worry deserves your energy, and not every comment needs to be taken personally. That realization frees up space in your heart for joy, for connection, and for a quiet kind of wisdom that only time can teach. And as you age, the people around you notice it too. They may not always say it out loud, but they feel it. Being around you just feels easier, gentler, and more grounding. And that is the first of 5 pillars you never want to lose. Pillar 2, physical independence. Aging doesn't take your strength, it only asks you to protect it more fiercely. Physical independence is the 2nd pillar. And it doesn't mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It simply means being able to care for yourself, move with confidence, and live your daily life without constant assistance. For many seniors, this is the difference between freedom and frustration. Whether it's walking to the kitchen without help or tying your own shoes, these small abilities stack up into a sense of dignity that no one wants to lose. Maintaining this pillar doesn't require perfection, but it does require consistency. A daily stretching routine, light strength training, or just walking with intention can preserve muscles, joint flexibility, and balance far better than most medications ever could. It's not about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. Because once mobility starts slipping, your world tends to shrink along with it. Places you used to visit become out of reach. Friends become harder to see. Independence becomes a memory instead of a reality. Let's consider Evelyn, who's 81 and still lives in her own small cottage. Every morning she does a simple routine, 10 minutes of stretching, light housework, and a walk to the garden. She says it's not much, but that not much is exactly what's keeping her world open. When her neighbors need help bringing in groceries or chasing down a loose dog, they call Evelyn, not out of pity, but because she's reliable. Staying mobile hasn't just kept her out of assisted care, it's kept her socially connected and mentally sharp. And the science backs it up. Studies show that seniors who engage in just 30 minutes of moderate movement daily are less likely to suffer from depression, heart issues, and cognitive decline. It's a compound effect. The more you move, the more you can do. And the more you can do, the more you feel like yourself. There's also a psychological aspect here. When your body responds to your decisions, to stand up, to cook a meal, to dance a little to the radio, you feel like you're still in control. And control, even in the small things, is a huge part of feeling alive. Physical independence reminds you that your body may be older, but it's still yours. You've lived in it a long time, and treating it like a trusted old friend rather than an enemy is the key to a long and active life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Pillar 3, financial stability. There's a quiet kind of peace that comes with knowing your bills are paid and your future is secured. Financial stability is the 3rd pillar, and while it may not buy happiness, it surely protects you from a great deal of unnecessary sorrow in old age. Financial stress doesn't just weigh on the wallet, it weighs on the mind, the body, and your sense of freedom. You shouldn't be counting pennies when you should be counting memories. Being financially stable doesn't mean being wealthy. It means having enough to live comfortably, to access health care when you need it, and to enjoy simple pleasures without fear. Unfortunately, too many seniors feel ashamed to talk about money. They were raised in times when discussing finances felt impolite or even taboo. But staying silent about it doesn't stop the stress. It just makes the burden heavier to carry alone. Let me tell you about Harold, a 77-year-old who lives on a modest retirement income. He's not rich by any stretch, but he's smart. He meets with a financial advisor once a year, sticks to a budget, and always keeps an emergency fund. Because of that, when his car needed unexpected repairs last winter, he didn't panic. He simply handled it. That moment, small as it was, reminded him that he's not at the mercy of life's little surprises. That's what stability feels like. Not extravagant, just steady. Research supports this too. Seniors with consistent income sources, whether it's Social Security, a pension, or modest investments, report higher levels of well-being, lower rates of anxiety, and a greater sense of control over their lives. Financial stress, on the other hand, has been directly linked to higher blood pressure, sleep problems, and even cognitive decline. Worry doesn't just live in your mind, it spreads throughout your whole being. Having this pillar in place also means you can be generous on your own terms. You can give a birthday gift to a grandchild, donate to a cause you care about, or simply treat yourself to a little luxury now and then, without guilt. That autonomy is empowering. It tells you, I may be older, but I'm still the author of my life. The beauty of financial stability is that it's not always about what you have. It's about how you manage what you have. Simplicity can be just as powerful as abundance when guided by wisdom. And there's a special dignity in living within your means while still enjoying your days. Because in the end, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, without debt, shame, or fear. Pillar 4. Emotional strength. There's a kind of quiet power that lives in someone who's been through a lot and still chooses to smile. That's emotional strength. And it's one of the most vital pillars in old age. Not everyone sees it, but you feel it deep in your chest. The ability to stay calm when life gets messy, to carry loss with grace, to hold on to your sense of self even when the world around you changes. That kind of strength doesn't come overnight. It's forged in the fires of experience, and in old age, it becomes a shield against isolation, bitterness, and despair. As we age, we say more goodbyes. We lose friends. Health changes. Routines get disrupted. And sometimes even our roles in the family begin to shift. Without emotional resilience, it's easy to slip into cynicism or resentment. You start to feel left behind, unseen or unimportant. But those who cultivate emotional strength know how to reframe pain. They don't pretend life is perfect, but they learn to live meaningfully in the midst of imperfection. Let me share the story of Helen, an 84-year-old widow who lost her husband of 56 years. After the funeral, many assumed she'd collapse under the weight of grief. But Helen had something rare: emotional wisdom. She cried when she needed to, talked when she felt like it, and sat in silence when no words came. But she also started taking long walks, joined a local book club, and volunteered at the hospital where her husband once received care. She told me, "Sadness is real, but so is life. I want to be part of it." This kind of inner strength is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about allowing yourself to feel everything: loss, frustration, even joy, without letting any one emotion define you. Seniors with emotional strength often have better relationships, healthier sleep, and even stronger immune systems. Their mind stays sharper because they've trained themselves not to panic when life gets difficult. They've learned to pause, reflect, and respond, rather than react. Emotional strength also means setting boundaries. It means saying no when you need to, walking away from people who drain you, and not feeling guilty for needing peace. It's about being your own safe place. That doesn't make you cold, it makes you wise. In fact, people with this kind of strength are often the most comforting to be around. They don't create drama, they don't judge, they just listen and understand. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Pillar 5, financial stability. There's a unique kind of peace that comes when you no longer have to worry about whether you can afford your next doctor's visit, your medications, or simply keeping the lights on. Financial stability in old age isn't about being wealthy. It's about feeling secure. It's about knowing that your basic needs are met without anxiety creeping into your mind every time you open a bill or check your account balance. That's why financial security is one of the most powerful pillars you can lean on as you grow older. In your younger years, you may have juggled expenses, taken risks, or pushed financial concerns down the road. But in old age, stress over money takes a heavier toll. It can affect your health, limit your independence, and even impact your relationships. Seniors who don't have financial stability often feel ashamed, isolated, or dependent on others in ways that make them uncomfortable. On the other hand, those who have built even modest security walk taller, sleep better, and carry themselves with quiet dignity. Take Frank, for example, a 78-year-old retired postal worker. He never earned a 6-figure salary, but he made smart choices. He kept his spending simple, paid off his home, and avoided chasing things he didn't need. Today, he lives on a pension and a small savings account, but he's never anxious about money. He still visits his grandchildren, donates to his church, and buys a new coat when winter comes. The confidence he carries doesn't come from his bank balance. It comes from knowing that he planned ahead and that his life is his own. Financial stability also offers something less talked about, but deeply valuable: freedom. When you have enough, you get to say no. No to low-quality services. No to relying on people who treat you like a burden. No to accepting things you don't want just because you can't afford to choose differently. That sense of choice, of control, is priceless in old age. And for those who didn't have the chance to save much, it's never too late to make small changes. Downsizing, budgeting, or exploring local resources can lift some of the financial pressure off your shoulders. There's wisdom in simplicity. You don't have to chase more, you just need enough. And when you have enough, your days feel lighter and your future feels less uncertain. Without financial stability, many seniors begin to feel invisible. But with it, even simple pleasures become easier to enjoy. A coffee with friends, a new pair of shoes, a trip to the farmer's market. These aren't luxuries. They're symbols of autonomy. And in old age, autonomy is one of the most powerful forms of joy. Final thoughts. Old age isn't a retreat. It's a revelation. It reveals what truly holds us up when everything else gets stripped away. And as we've seen, there are 5 pillars that quietly, yet powerfully, shape whether your later years are filled with strength or sorrow. Health that lets you move without pain, relationships that nourish your spirit, purpose that gives meaning to each morning, a sense of belonging that reminds you that you're never alone, and the quiet power of financial stability that lets you breathe easy. These aren't luxuries, they're essentials. You don't need to master everything all at once. But if even one of these pillars feels shaky in your life right now, you have the power to begin strengthening it, no matter your age. It's never too late to care for your health, reconnect with someone who matters, find a reason to get up or learn something new. And in doing so, you not only extend your years, you deepen them. Each of these 5 pillars carries a lesson, that the things that truly matter don't cost much, but they take daily tending. You've earned the right to live with dignity, to be surrounded by people who see you, and to spend your days on your terms. But those things don't happen by chance. They happen by choice. And if you've made it this far in the video, that tells me something powerful about you. You're someone who still chooses growth, still chooses to care, still chooses to live with intention. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.